There are so many different layers when it comes to living abroad, and some of the expectations and realities need to be addressed, and to have that kind of middle ground in understanding what kind of treatment you're going to receive. So, from a foreigner's perspective, I think that's the impression that I get from them, is that they put some. Hey everyone, RJ here, and welcome again to my channel. Today I'll be sharing with you my personal experiences and the stories that I've heard from my friends, as well as the observations that I've had during the past 4 years that I've lived here in Tallinn, Estonia. And let me just preface this video by saying that there are so many different layers when it comes to living abroad, and some of the expectations and realities need to be addressed. As an individual living here in a foreign country, it's never easy to adjust to the culture, the environment, and some of the habits that the people have. It is expected and inevitable that each and every expatriate will going to experience hardships and difficulties when it comes to adjusting. Although I've already discussed my personal experiences when it comes to the living condition and how good it is to live here, I think I also have to discuss the opposite end of the spectrum. So it's not always going to be fine and dandy, especially if you're living in a foreign country. It's also important to discuss the not so good things of living here in Tallinn, Estonia as a foreigner. So you're watching this video until the end because I'm going to share my experiences, my stories that I've heard from my friends, and the observations that I've made. So I'm going to share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Here in Estonia, if you're a taxpayer, you're going to get the benefits of having a free healthcare. This includes a 40 euro dental assistance each and every year. Aside from that, you're going to have the benefit of going to the clinic and having your free consultation and checkup. In most cases, hospitalization and some of the outpatient services are going to be for free, but most of the time you also have to go through the recommendation from your general practitioner or your family doctor in order for you to have certain tests to be done by a specialist. So the good thing about it is, of course, you're going to have your free medical assistance assisted by the government. However, the only problem that I've encountered here is the long duration of waiting to getting an assistance from the healthcare system. And on top of that, not every doctor can speak English, so it's going to be an additional waiting period for you if that particular specialist is not able to speak your language. So obviously, majority of the doctors here are Estonians. However, they also speak Russian and to some extent German. So if you don't speak their language, it's going to be hard for you to have a date of an appointment. So I think that's one of the difficulty of the healthcare system here, is the language, because language barrier is something that you're going to come across. It's very important for you to send across the message to the doctor, whatever you're feeling, and sometimes it's going to be difficult for the doctor to give their assessment if they're not able to grasp the assessment findings that you're trying to convey to them. So it's very important that the doctor is able to understand whatever it is that you're feeling, or in some cases you also need to tell them in Estonian whatever it is that you're currently experiencing, in order for you to have that kind of middle ground in understanding what kind of treatment you're going to receive. So another good thing of living here in Estonia is, if you're a taxpayer, you're also going to be contributing to the unemployment fund. I actually experienced this myself. During the height of the pandemic, I was retrenched from my previous job, and the government actually gave me some form of assistance in order for me to go through during those difficult times. And although the amount that they're going to give you is not the same amount that you're going to receive while you are working, it's a good way for you to jumpstart your life and start your new beginning with the assistance that they're offering. And also, I remember when I went to the unemployment sector of the government, they even gave us some talks on improving our CV. So I think the country is very generous when it comes to that, and I think one of the good things of living here is you're going to get all of those benefits if you are a taxpayer and giving out your contribution well to the country. It's going to be more of a personal agenda for me. Since I'm an avid traveler, I can easily go through the different parts of the European countries easily without any restrictions. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to get that opportunity because I love traveling. And I have so many plans to travel more and go to the places that I haven't been to. So watch out for those in my upcoming videos. Before, that transportation here in Tallinn, Estonia is for free for all of the residents. And so if you're just like me, you don't know how to drive, transportation is one of the key factors for you to move around the city. And other cities like Tartu, Pärnu, and Narva, those are big cities as well, but the transportation system there are not for free, so it's only limited to Tallinn, Estonia. So I think we are very privileged that the residents are able to navigate within the city freely and avail the free transportation that that the city has provided to us. So those are the things that I consider a good part of living here. Now let's go to the not so good part or the bad things of living here as a foreigner in Tallinn, Estonia. Loneliness is one of those things that an expat will going to experience one way or the other, and I'm not an exception for that. I've pretty much experienced the loneliness. It's quite difficult to actually make friends if you're an introvert. So in my case, I'm quite an introvert and extrovert at the same time. So it's quite difficult for me to mingle with people once my introvertness kicks in. Most Estonians are typically shy, and with that being said, they tend not to share what they feel and try to keep it to themselves. It's going to be quite difficult to have a bond or a form of friendship in this kind of situation. What makes it difficult is the fact that most Estonians just accept the fact that they are shy in nature and they wouldn't go beyond that. They simply just accept the fact that they're shy and they live with it. Although I would say that not all Estonians are that. You cannot take it against them because that's part of who they are. From the foreigner's perspective, I think that's the impression that I get from them, is that they put some walls for you to cross, and if you are able to crack the wall, then you're going to be friends, which is quite difficult for a foreigner to crack. That's one thing that I think I personally am having difficulty with, but luckily I do have some Estonian friends here to have that feeling of being the others. There is a tendency that most of the internationals sticks to each other simply because they are the ones who can relate to each other and they can understand there are similarities and traits that they share. We consider that some of the holidays here are not treated the way you expected it to be. So Christmas season is definitely something that is celebrated here differently. Although they do celebrate Christmas here, I wouldn't say it's as festive as the ones that I've experienced. Let's say, for instance, in the Philippines, we start Christmas decoration from September 1st, or at least the countdown. It's not the same vibe or feeling that you used to have unlike as before. So that is an inevitable fact that you cannot just expect that your tradition and your old habits will going to reflect the same thing that your host country where you're going to stay at. So yeah, I mean, that is something that I have tried to adapt and assimilate myself into, because they do have Christmas market, and that is one thing that is very festive. And I've also made a video with my experience with the Christmas market here in Tallinn, Estonia. So if you have time, you can watch it here or here. Yeah. There's one thing that most foreigners would say, which is not very appealing, is the weather. Although personally, for me, I have a love-hate relationship when it comes to the weather situation here in Estonia. Initially, before, I actually wanted to have the experience of living in a country where there's snow and the winter is always available. And now that this is my 5th winter living here in Estonia, I kind of not say regret, but it's something that I wouldn't necessarily wish for. What's really difficult is the gloominess of the sky. It gives the mood of being depressed, and it's really quite difficult to have this environmental setting when you're very used to seeing the blue sky and clear sky all year round. And yeah, I mean, something that each foreigner will going to learn to adjust with. So in my case, I'm still trying to adjust. I cannot say that I have fully adjusted to the situation. However, it's more of the mentality. It is something that you're going to expect each and every winter season. So I think it's, you just have to remind yourself that winter is coming, and then I don't know, you just have to accept it, I guess. So after living here for 4 years, I have seen the progression of the prices and the cost of living. And I believe there was one part of my video where I said that one of the reasons why I decided to live here in Estonia is because they are relatively cheaper as compared to the other countries in Europe, which is not the case anymore. Minimum salary that an employee is getting is not enough anymore. The living situation here in Estonia is becoming very, very difficult, especially with the increasing cost of living. So I think what contributes to the difficulty of the living situation here is the salary remains the same, and the cost of living and progression of the prices of the items in the grocery, the renting situation, and the electricity, it all is starting to go up. Personally, I can still go by with the salary that I'm getting, but is it enough? I wouldn't say so, because it's difficult to save, and that's one thing. And I also have to just maintain a specific budget allocation. So if you're a foreigner who's planning to migrate here to Estonia, you have to be prepared of the expenses that you're going to pay, because it's not as cheap anymore as it used to. I think that's one thing that is really getting uglier each and every day, is the increasing amount of expenses that an individual is going to pay. So yeah. After living here in Estonia for 4 years, I would say that it's still good to live here because it's safe, it's convenient, it's very calm and chill. However, there are certain factors that will going to contribute to the difficulty of living in a foreign country, and those are the realities of living here in Tallinn, Estonia for 4 years. And if you're a foreigner planning to live here, just brace yourself, and it's not going to be a joyride. There's going to be some bumps ahead, but you just have to be prepared of what to expect. So if you're also a foreigner who has been living here in Tallinn, Estonia, I also want to hear from you. What do you think are the good things of living here? What are the bad things that you have experienced? And what are the ugly experiences or situations that you've come across after living here in Tallinn, Estonia? So I want to hear your opinions, so leave those information on the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and you can also follow along with my journey on my Instagram account. And this has been RJ. See you on my next video. Travel and adventure.